It's Sunday, 19th of January, and we are awaiting SpaceX's launch escape test in just under 17 minutes and 8 seconds. The test today is to demonstrate the effectiveness of our launch escape system. Now we are currently go for launch from pad 39A at Kennedy Space Center at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Isbrecher, Falcon Principal Integration Engineer here at SpaceX headquarters in Hawthorne, California.
And I'm Marie Lewis with NASA Public Affairs. The purpose of today's test is to demonstrate Crew Dragon's ability to safely fly astronauts away from danger and separate from the Falcon 9 rocket during an in-flight emergency.
Now, in order to test our launch escape system, which is integral to the Dragon spacecraft you see in front of you on the video, we will be simulating an emergency with Falcon 9 at about 84 seconds into flight.
Yeah, good morning, John and Marie. It's a pretty nice day here at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. You can see behind us here on the lawn, some of the media have gathered to shoot this launch. And of course, the countdown clock, the iconic one, they're counting 12 minutes until launch. As you mentioned, the first crew members assigned to fly Crew Dragon are NASA astronauts Doug Hurley and Bob Behnken. And they have the most, you could say, invested in the outcome of this test flight. Right now, they are just a few miles away from launch pad 39A, which is just behind my left shoulder here. They're in the SpaceX firing room inside the Launch Control Center, where they will closely monitor today's flight abort test. Now, right now, they've been training up until this point, training hard with NASA and SpaceX so they can understand every aspect of Dragon's systems, their spacesuits, and how to respond in a variety of potential emergency scenarios, including an escape from a Falcon 9 rocket in the middle of flight.
I think both of us are really excited that the in-flight abort test is about to happen. You know, we kind of view that as the graduation exercise like a lot of folks do on the NASA side to make sure that we're really confident that we've got a good plan and good procedures in place for pulling that mission off. And so I'm excited that we're this far, and I know once it's behind us, you know, we'll be the prime Falcon 9 Crew Dragon crew.
What we want to see from this test is just an end-to-end success. And so, you know, another successful launch of the Falcon 9 and then to see the Super Dracos work.
I think that's a really good point. I think getting the NASA team and the SpaceX team on the same page kind of going forward and kind of walking through all the decisions that you have to make for getting ready for this flight, I think is a big milestone as well, because it's the last launch associated with us before we ride that rocket.
All right, thanks, Daryl. You're taking a live look now. This is inside SpaceX's firing room 4. That's where Bob and Doug are sitting today, along with the NASA and SpaceX teams, following along today's test. And this past Friday, they completed what we refer to internally as a dry dress rehearsal. We saw some video of that during Daryl's segment. This is where the astronauts, along with the SpaceX and NASA teams, walk through those steps that they'll take before they get on board for Demo 2. We saw them suit up, and that is really exciting stuff, especially that was the first time we saw them suited up walking out of the astronaut suit-up room, and so really looking forward to doing that for Demo 2. And while that vehicle that you see on the pad looks like a typical Crew Dragon spacecraft from the outside, if you had a look inside, you'll see that the interiors have been stripped down, and there it is. We do have a look inside for you. The cabin has no interior panels except for one on the ceiling, and there's no control panel in there for this test. Dragon's also outfitted with 2 seats that you see there, and sitting inside those seats, we have 2 anthropomorphic test devices.
Last event you're going to hear, start up at 1 minute when the computers take over and the launch director go at 30 seconds.
Minus 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition, liftoff. Semper Fi, aim high. Go Falcon, go Dragon.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
Payload propulsion throttle.
T plus 30 seconds. Falcon 9 with the Crew Dragon capsule is heading east from pad 39A. Everything looking good right now. Everything continues to look good. We're approaching the period of maximum dynamic pressure.
Vehicle is supersonic and passing through maximum dynamic pressure.
You've heard we're supersonic, we're through max Q. We're getting ready now to throttle the engines back up on the first stage.
Stage 1, throttle up.
There's the call out. Okay, the major activity coming up in just over 10 seconds. Shutdown and Dragon escape from the Falcon 9.
Miko. Dragon launch escape initiated.
Dragon's away.
And you can hear some really loud cheering in the room. Okay, you just saw a bright flash there. It looks like that may be Falcon 9 breaking up. We've got some loud cheers here in Hawthorne. And there you just saw the trunk jettison. Again, some really loud cheers here in Hawthorne, California. This test is looking great so far. And there they are. Drogue chutes are out. Again, some major cheering going on here as every stage of this test unfolds. Now we're going to be getting ready for the main chutes to deploy.
Now, main chutes will be coming up fairly quickly. There are 4 main parachutes. These are the newest Mark III parachutes. They're each 116 feet in diameter. We deploy them about 2 kilometers above sea level, 6,500 feet above the Atlantic Ocean. And we have the view from a different camera on Dragon showing the 4 main parachutes. Now they are deployed in a reefed condition. That means we're keeping them fairly shut to avoid shocks, and now we're slowly opening up the 4 parachutes. Great views coming off of the Dragon camera on the left, and we can also see the 4 parachutes from the airplane on the right.
That is a really cool view.
Nice view of the orange and white parachutes as they're opening up into the second position, and then going to fully open. From fully open, we'll be descending about 20 to 25 feet per second down to the Atlantic.
Now those 4 parachutes are actually going to be released from the capsule after splashdown, and they'll be recovered too.
And we are down.
Down a little bit early, in fact. And there you can see the recovery boat beginning to approach instantly. I'm going to try to talk a little bit louder so you can hear me over the folks here. This has been a really exciting thing to see because we had the weather. We weren't really sure if the weather was going to cooperate. We were trying to weigh, is it favorable for launch, but also is it favorable for recovery, because they really have to watch the height of those waves.